This is the 91st episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the third week of May 2012. This episode is titled Red Hot Registration. CloudFocus Weekly is sponsored by Arkus, your cloud computing experts. I'm your host, Jason Atwood, and joining me for the 91st time here in the podcasting studio, 91st time, wow, it's a lot, is Justin Edelstein. Justin, how are you doing today?
You caught me while I was taking a sip of a hot beverage.
I don't know if you know this, but we're recording, and you probably shouldn't take sips of things while I'm about to ask you the question I've asked you
it's hot.
91 times in a row.
It's red hot. The beverage I just took a sip of.
Question.
Go on.
Are we going to do anything special for our 100th anniversary? 100th episode anniversary? Wait,
yeah,
first of all,
probably.
Two questions. One, are we going to say that we're going to do something? Two, are we really going to do something?
Well, we're saying we're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Are we going to do it? Yeah,
probably not.
Yeah, well, we already know what we're doing.
Oh, the whole Dreamforce thing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing?
Well, that's kind of cool.
Oh, okay. All right.
I guess we can't really talk about it.
No.
We can.
No. Let's not talk about it.
Well, not now. We're not there yet. We don't even know if we're going to get there.
Well, we're going to get there. To 91?
Yeah, well, we're at 91 now. We got like
or to 100,
we got another couple months.
I already figured it out. July 16th.
I'll be on vacation.
July 20th.
I'll be on vacation.
You going on vacation for 2 weeks?
All of July.
Oh, okay.
I'll be gone for the month of July.
Right. So, sometime in July, we're going to hit our 100th episode.
Sweet.
Speaking of 100 episodes, not at all, we got an agenda. We have the newest blog post that will be on Arkus Inc., blog.arkusinc.com, which is actually not entitled Extreme Conga, but it's entitled...
what is it entitled?
Well, it hasn't been published yet. It's being written. It's detailed, so it hasn't been...
It's very detailed. It's called Extreme Reporting for Nonprofits with Conga Composer.
Say that 17 times.
Extreme Reporting for Nonprofits with Conga Composer.
Yeah. So this one is kind of interesting. We actually saw we here at Arkus do something called a workshop, which is an internal thing that we only do, for just sort of a learning thing. We do that. But so we asked the guy who's writing the blog post, Roger, to give a sort of demo of what he did for a client. And we thought it so interesting in sort of learning about it that we said, let's turn it into a blog post. So I went to the blog master. And I had him add it in as the next blog post. So give us a little flavor about what it is.
Sure. I actually saw the finished product earlier this week, as you said, and I think the two of us both looked at each other and said, "Whoa, that warrants more than just showing it to us.
Let's make it public."
Yeah. So, what young Roger did was, we'll give him a name. We'll put him out there. His name's on the blog post. What Roger did was he had some pretty stringent requirements from a non-for-profit that needed to report back to the government as per details in a grant agreement. So, they had to report specific information in a specific format, the way that the government wanted to consume it. And the data that they were capturing lived inside of Salesforce. It was all there.
We implemented it, so yes, it was.
It was all there. It was just not in the format that the government wanted it in.
Right.
Obviously not in. They're not going to log into Salesforce and get it. And a simple export of a report wasn't going to work because it turns out it was an export of about 10 to 15 different reports inside of Salesforce. So that's where the Conga Composer magic and extremeness comes in. Conga, one of our favorite App Exchange applications from App Extremes, allows you to take data from as many reports as you want. There might be a limitation, but we haven't hit it at this point. We took, I think in this one, it was 10 to 15, something like that, different reports inside of Salesforce, got it out into Excel, and then the report had to actually be delivered into Excel in an Excel format. So it was in like all these different sheets in Excel and pulled it all together into a master sheet that used a bunch of VLOOKUP formulas and some if error type of formulas.
So it's really combining that. I think that the interesting piece, and he really does a great job of laying out what he did in the blog post that, again, I think it'll be available on Friday. is it's really using three different powerful things. It's using the power of Salesforce and all of its reporting, but there's some things it just can't do. Then the power of Conga, which
even
is
with joined reports, because we tried with joined reports, right. And you can actually get it. We could have solved this with the joined report layout, except you can't export them.
Let's put that on the AD Exchange.
We'll throw that out there.
And then going through Conga, which is great at taking data out in multiple reports and then stuffing it into some sort of document. Then we use the power of Excel, which had all these VLOOKUPs built into the document that already was, that was being populated by the Salesforce data coming through Conga, and then built this sort of, again, very specific. And the trouble was it wasn't just raw data; it needed to be like summarized data.
It needed to be summarized, and
it's like a summary of a summary,
and like formatted.
Right.
It was like in Salesforce, it was like a true or false type of thing. It either is or isn't, and it's very easy to do that with a checkbox. But in Excel, it needed to format, ones and zeros into different things. So it was really well done, and a really nice use of one of our favorite products, Conga Composer.
Yep. Why don't we
skip to the? I'm looking at our agenda,
okay.
And I was gonna say, Dreamforce 12 is next on our agenda.
Yes,
why don't we leave that for last?
Okay.
Why don't we go to our third thing here, which is a product that just showed up inside of Google Docs, which I love. I love me some Google Docs, and this thing just showed up yesterday called Research. So you, Jason, are our.
Wow.
You are.
Did we just get into English discussion?
I don't know. You're our Google Apps administrator.
Yes, I am.
I don't go in there and touch things.
Yes.
That's what you do. That's all you do here at Arkus.
That's true.
You administer Google Apps.
And
so how is it that I got this feature? Did you turn this feature on? Did it just because it just popped up yesterday in the middle of a meeting? This thing just pops up.
So I don't know if you've listened to this podcast.
I have not.
Called CloudFocus Weekly.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
There's one really good host and this other guy. But anyway, so a while back on this podcast, we mentioned that Google, in their product development lifecycle for their cloud apps, was doing sort of a couple different things new. And I'll re-mention them because I think it's interesting for those of you who are apt that maybe didn't listen to that one podcast. I don't remember. Episode 52. I don't know. But basically they were doing two things. One is they were doing
Episode 52 stats are going to go through the roof.
They're through the roof. So, like episode 33, which is... Anyway, how do I know this? So they basically publish a calendar now, Google Calendar, smart, that tells you when all the releases coming out. And then as an administrator, you can choose two different things. You can either choose to be in the whenever they come out, turn them on for me, or give me warning and allow me some time. You can't, very rarely can you not turn things on. Google doesn't allow you to not turn things on. You're basically going to have it turn on, whether it's the new interface, whether it's Drive, whether it's whatever, it's turning on. They do a good job of warning you, but unlike Salesforce, which has gone more towards you have to turn this on, although Chatter Messenger is something that's
even
not
Chatter you don't have to turn on.
Right, but some things they turn on, then let you turn it back off. Anyway,
like the new user interface.
Right. So it's just anyway.
I want to turn our org back to the old interface just for fun.
I was in it just literally an hour ago in the old interface, and it was horrible.
In our org?
No, in a different org.
Oh.
I was taking a test drive of something. Anywho. Jumping off the rails here. Going back, in order to get Google Drive when it came out, I had to flip us from give me some time to wait for new features and tell me about it to turn them on whenever they come available.
Oh.
So therefore,
carrot, stick.
They became available. Now I could go back and turn it off, and I think we still keep Google Drive. But anyway, so that's where this new feature comes from, and it is. And tell me about it. Well,
I really love it. I think this is fantastic for... if you're writing I think of this now as like if I was writing a paper when I was in college, I would have killed to be able to use Google Docs. And in particular, this research bar. So you open up, it actually is open for you. You sort of have to close it, but it's in the tools menu, tools research. Mm-hmm. And it has a little Google search, and you can search for anything you want. And it live brings back web results from the internet. And gives you links, and you could click out and find things. So as you're writing your document, you can go search for things from within your document and find them. Not only can you do that, but you can hover over the links and cite them. So now you're like inserting live citations, and you can see I did it in our document, our agenda here that I'm sharing. When we had the extreme Conga, I went out and searched for app extremes, and I put in the citation. It put a little 1 there, and then at the bottom of the page, it put the citation. I see you're now doing it for a bunch of things. Okay, you're inserting images, but you can insert the links. You can insert images. It takes this, and I just think of myself writing these research papers in college, and just like going out and finding information, having to cite it properly, and formatting and this and that, and this just puts everything in one place and just lets me do all that. Oh my, this is fantastic. What a tool.
I'm actually, the thing I'm excited about is the thing that it does images. Google,
you're doing images right now,
and it does something else which I love, which is it does quotes. And as you know, because you're a part of it, in our daily Scrum, which is our methodology for productivity, I guess, I put a quote at the top of the weekly Scrum.
Yes, you do.
And so now I don't even have to leave Google Doc to go find that quote. So I am very excited. It's a neat little feature. You know, it's Google saying we got data. We should. It's a great mashup of two things. But it is certainly not. I mean, it's not groundbreaking anyway. It's just kind of like a neat feature. I kind of like it. Google Docs is, as we've talked about, has grown on me more and more and more. And now with Google Drive, like I'm basically trying to figure out. Today I was actually going in there and I was sort of organizing Google Drive. And
I did the same thing today. Somebody sent me an attachment in an email that was in relation to a client. It was some documentation around an API.
Yep.
And I needed it to go into this client's folder, and it made me think, where should I put this? Should I put this on our clan, our cloud LAN? Or should I drop
this Jungle Disk?
Should I drop this into my Google Drive? I ended up putting it in both places, which is probably not the right thing to do.
Don't do that.
But
that's gonna make our life
probably the wrong thing to do.
Yes,
but
not even
first I threw it in the clan because that was my first inclination. But then I realized, somebody else, might need access to this.
Right.
So I'm gonna drop it in the Google Drive. So I just opened up my little Finder, went to the client folder inside of the drive, and dragged it right in, and boom, it uploaded. I was like, ooh,
yeah.
Ooh, no, you just got me. Because, I mean, dragging and dropping into the web interface to upload documents, you say crap, I say, it's fine. No. It works. It's how things work, right? But this is like, oh man, this is next level. I just drop it in there, and then it's shared, and then I can go to it and share it with more people if I want to. Fantastic.
Interesting rat hole on this. Google Drive on a Chromebook.
Yeah. Does that even exist?
I don't know, but I'm saying Google Drive on a Chromebook. Oh wait, a Chromebook becomes more useful.
Well, a Chromebook doesn't. I guess Google Drive isn't really a file system.
Well, it is. It's
Google,
syncing a file system.
But Chromebook doesn't have a file system.
I think they will, because this.
But you can access it through the web. Like that's That's like an interface to Google Drive. You don't have to get to it from like your Finder or from your My Computer or whatever Windows.
No, you get both. Right, but I'm a Chromebook user now. I'm not
sure,
and now I have syncing, because the power of it is syncing, that it's syncing down to your local machine. Now, again, there's all sorts of limitations to that. Unlike Jungle Disk, where it's not really syncing, we have a view, and it's a WebDAV view, but it doesn't mean the data is actually sitting there on our machine. This is actually sitting on the machine. But if I drop a 10 megabyte file in a folder that you're syncing, it'll sync that file down to your machine. Good or bad. Don't know.
I saw you editing a file. Were you editing a file? It was a spreadsheet. Were you editing a file today? Off of your Google Drive?
Oh, yeah, I was.
Yeah, like it created like one of those like aliases on the web view.
Oh, because
as you were editing it, I guess. And
so
then when
Excel
you closed it out,
that.
Excel must have created that. And when you X'd it out, it goes away, I guess. Not sure.
Yeah. So
interesting enough, I was like, oh, there's two of those, but one has like a $sign in front of it.
Right.
You must be editing this file.
Anyway,
I was watching you.
Totally off topic, but neat little features come.
I like this little research feature. Again, I think of it as a really great tool for students to be able to just to be able to pop out to the internet real quick, from inside of the document, get the information you need, cite it, include a link. Like, it turns a paper into a bigger thing.
Right.
Like,
not just blog writers, like
sure,
blogging, I would need to go look up that one thing. Boom, boom, I can grab it, drag it in, it cites it. Now I'd love to see a Google Docs to blog sort of easier way to publish it. But
didn't they get rid of Blogspot or Blogger, whatever it's called? Well, didn't they like change it or get rid of it or do something to it? I feel like they did.
Maybe.
All
right. So let's go to
What's
our
next?
Dreamforce news.
Dreamforce. You don't want to go to this last thing you just put on here?
It's more of my.
Oh, you were doing a little search deal, weren't you?
No. This is more of just I'm just so excited.
When are they coming?
So this is for all of you.
Let's let them in on the secret.
It's a.
Why don't we share our Google Doc as public and just send the URL out? Just be like, here you go.
Show notes. So in non-cloud computing, non-anything other than we're excited because we're big fanboys. The new MacBook Pros are supposed to be coming out in June at WWDC, which is June 11th.
Is that on the Arkus calendar?
It's on my personal calendar. I think it's the keynote started at 11, or 11 Pacific, so it'll be 1 o'clock.
When can I order the thing that I already want, but I don't know what it is?
Probably around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
With the solid state drive this time.
Yes. Probably around 3 o'clock.
Because mine, I need that.
I was saying
I want it to be lighter,
else.
and I want it to be solid state, because I've seen you open Excel files, and I've seen me open Excel files, and yours open way faster.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be...
It's literally the same machine, just different drive.
So it's supposed to be lighter, faster, new processor, Retina display screens, and just, really much thinner, because they're going to get rid of some of the stuff that we've kept around. I mean, the CD drive, which I don't think I've used, maybe twice. They're going to get rid of Ethernet ports. They're going to slim it down and put a bigger battery in it, give it tons of life. I can't wait. It has nothing to do with cloud computing, so I just had to mention it.
Awesome. Let's get to the big news of the day.
Yeah, big news of the day is Dreamforce 12 or Dreamforce X registration opened this morning.
This morning.
And the big announcement, I guess, 2 days ago was that the Red Hot Chili Peppers are going to be the musical guests. As we discussed last week, I said it was almost very few bands that could ever get me to kind of go to the concert.
Is this one of them?
This is close. This is a band I'm kind of excited to go see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join us.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'd love to
We'll
have
see.
you.
After being on my feet for 15 hours, I might be like, yeah, Red Hot this. I'm going home.
I usually go home to the hotel.
Yes.
Take a break, an hour or two, grab some dinner, and then go to the gala. That's usually what that's my night. Then go back out. Like I go back to the hotel, get off my feet, take a little break, eat some dinner, then go out to the gala. I've only been to one of the concerts where I've been there at the very start of the concert. I usually get there like somewhere at the beginning, sort of, but not like the band's already playing.
Oh, okay.
The Foo Fighters was the only concert where I got there and like had little, like they have the snacks and the drinks and the things, and then they open the thing to go into the actual concert.
Right.
Because that one I really wanted to go to. I was in like the second or third row. It was a lot of fun. But the other ones, I just sort of hang in the back, enjoy, go to the open bar. It's,
yeah, I think
it's nice.
I think I might be in this year.
I think you
see.
should. You'll have a good time. So let's go through this. Did you register? Did you?
I did not.
Oh, why not?
Well, because I'm waiting for our sponsor.
Oh, you need
passes.
the codes.
The codes. They have not come out yet. So.
I registered. I did not register as a sponsor. I registered on my own. Even though I am a sponsor, I decided to go at it on my own.
Yep.
So the registration flow was just as good as it's been.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
I'm halfway through. I'm stopped at some point.
You stopped.
Yeah, so,
okay.
But I can see how good it is.
Yeah, the flow is so simple.
You know what it looks like. Did you notice what it looks like?
Oh, I do know what it looks like.
What interface it is?
It looks like the touch interface.
It's touch.
It does. It looks like the touch.salesforce.com interface.
Yes,
it does look just like it. It was really dumb simple. It said, have you registered before? Great. Log in. I mean, I started from the outside, not logged in, but I think you could have started it from inside the portal, already logged in, and started your registration. That's what I had heard.
Because if you try to get into the portal now, as I try to do this in front of you, I can't get to anything now. I'm like locked out until I register again. I've basically been booted back to registering.
Right, but you can start what I mean is you
I
can
can log
actually
in.
log in and start registering.
But everything that was there is gone.
Right.
So all the stuff, all the groups, all the stuff, I can't access any of that now. I'm like, my user type has been dropped down.
In the past, though, you couldn't even do that.
Yeah, no. The past
this is nice, though. You're logged in.
Yep.
It knows who you are. You can start your registration. The flow is dead simple. It's like 4 steps, 3 steps. They ask you for your information,
which they pull from your profile.
Right, if it's changed.
Yep.
Which mine did. It changed. Yeah, I had I don't know why, but I didn't have my business address in there. I had my personal address.
Oh.
So I changed it to the business address.
Okay.
Asked for my Twitter account, which I gladly gave it.
Yep.
And went through the hotel registration.
Yep.
Booked myself at the old hotel.
Yep, the old hotel.
At San Francisco. Can't give it out because don't want too many people following me.
Secrets must be kept.
Well, I already told people where I'm staying.
Well, I know, but until we all get in there and I don't want it.
You don't want it to run out?
I don't want to
Sell
run out. Yeah.
It won't. It's one of the more expensive ones.
Oh, is it?
It won't.
Oh, okay.
It's actually like $100 more than a lot of them.
Really?
So,
Then why are we staying there?
That's where we always stay.
All right, we stay there.
But anyway, yeah, registration open. I'm in. I was in the portal playing around. Tweeted out that I registered. Hit the little tweet button, which was nice. It filled it in for me. Little @Benioff.
Yep.
Hashtag DF12. I'm all about it. So we have in our little agenda, we have a little picture here of what's going on. It looks like we're starting Tuesday, September 18th in the AM with some sessions.
Yeah, so there are actually some tiny little breakout sessions on Tuesday, which is interesting because usually it doesn't kick off until Thursday. So it looks like they've kind of.
Well, you know what they've done here? There's only one keynote. There's only one AM keynote.
Oh,
one morning keynote.
Because it used to be 3.
Now there's
2 mornings and 1
The
night.
second morning no longer has a second keynote. So you'll notice that the Tuesday is sort of like it's starting before it starts.
Right.
So like Tuesday has, some partner keynote, foundation keynote, new to Dreamforce keynotes in the morning where they're breaking people out.
Right.
Then there's sessions all day.
But those are
the
full-on sessions?
Full-on sessions. They're
so
an hour long.
people are really going to come out on Monday night. People are going to come out on Monday.
The thing starts Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yeah, people are going to be there Monday.
Yeah.
People are going to be there Sunday. I feel like there's going to be things to do on Monday as well.
Okay.
But then the welcome reception with the expo open, the thing that always happens that first night,
right,
where there's usually nothing happening beforehand, is that Tuesday. But there's lots of things happening that Tuesday before the expo open. And
kind of interesting.
The little cocktail hour that they have there at the expo reception. And the expo, it looks like, we'll actually be open at 2:00 on that Tuesday. It looks like after the early keynotes. And
so we know we have to be there to have it set up by noon. So it's
noon on Tuesday. You can actually get there Monday to have it show ready on Monday if we want to.
Yep.
So then Wednesday, highlights include the keynote in the morning, the Mark Benioff Social Enterprise keynote.
So, I gotta stop you there. I did see one of the people.
Is it gonna be the Burberry again?
She's there she's on the docket.
But is she gonna be like a special guest again?
I personally
it's a year later. It shouldn't happen again. I mean that thing that they built should be done and just done.
I want to say, after looking at it, I'm very excited about the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I love Dreamforce the most that I ever could love any conference ever. But I'm a little bit rewashed, because if we get the Burberry conversation again and we get Colin Powell again,
I don't want the Burberry conversation.
Well, I'm saying those are 2 things we've already seen. I mean, I know that those 2. I mean, I love Colin Powell. He was great. Although I'm looking at the timing and I know what else is going to be going on in that time, and I don't know if I'll be there for that because of what else will be going on. But anyway,
it does seem very different, though.
It seems like they've changed the schedule around.
Well, if you look on Thursday, where there's normally the morning and the afternoon keynote, there is the afternoon keynote, the special keynote, if you will, and they're calling it the Conversation with Colin Powell and Jeff Immelt, I think it is, Immelt, right? CEO of GE.
Sounds like really interesting. Yeah.
But you'll see that there's there's breakout sessions from 9 a.m. to 4, basically to 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. But sort of going alongside that in parallel is a developer keynote and product keynote. So it looks like they're going to have more keynotes than they've usually had, and they're just going to be in parallel to breakout sessions. So it's your choice. You go to a breakout session, or you go sit in a keynote about the product, or as a developer, go see what's going on with the Force.com platform or Heroku or whatever else they're going to be rolling out at that time.
Yep.
And then Friday, which to some people seems like a throwaway day, they've got Tony Robbins there from 10 to 1.
Yeah.
And I'm going to that.
That looks really cool. I've never seen Tony Robbins speak. I don't know his stuff.
Me
the
neither.
partner remain nameless is
he lives
deep,
by him.
He's deep in.
So I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going from 10 to 1. I'm gonna be a convert.
I will be in the beach in
You'll
Miami.
be in Miami.
I'm gonna leave. I'm
gonna leave Friday, maybe in the afternoon or evening.
Nice.
Because I want to go see Tony Robbins.
Yeah. Yeah. So overall, I mean, it's kicking off. It's starting early. I mean, it feels like it could be next month, and yet it's not until September. We are in May.
Yeah.
May,
It's
June,
4 months
July,
away?
August, September. We're talking almost 4 or 5 months away. That's a.
But for partners like us, we are prepping. We're
Right.
doing our work now.
We have whiteboards full of stuff we're
We
going to be
do.
doing. We were looking at swag to give away earlier. I mean, yeah, this is really our time to start kicking in, as well as just planning all the stuff that needs to go on, special events and things like that. It's crazy stuff. So anyway,
But registration open. Happy day. Everyone get in there.
yes, everybody get in. So that's sort of the big cloud news this week. Let's go into our CloudFocus App Pick of the Week.
Sure.
I know you have one.
I do.
Since I've been yelling at you to get one early, so you've been paying.
You know what's funny? I have like 4 of them ready to go.
Nice.
So
there you go. So
the next bunch of weeks, I will have a bunch of them.
So what is your pick of the week?
All right. So this week, I was sitting here in our office, in the podcasting studio in Times Square, and I had a client sitting here with me, and we were just before he was leaving, we were just kidding around, and he said, hey, he was showing me this book. He went to this conference here in New York, and he had some drawings, and I'm like, you're really good at drawing your ideas.
Yeah.
He said, oh, I'm nothing. You should see this series called RSA Animates. Have you ever heard of RSA Animate?
I know RSA as a security
Me too,
company.
but there's more to it.
Okay.
So he goes, oh, you got to check this out. Go to YouTube and just type in RSA Animate. And what they do is they take, like, I don't know if they're TED Talks, but they're TED style talks, because RSA has their own, like, innovation talks.
Yep.
I forget what it's called, but it's like Renaissance Society something or other. They have the most amazing animated, like, drawings over talks.
Oh,
So,
I've
like,
seen those.
Oh, they're amazing.
Where they start with like a whiteboard and they just draw something.
Just
and
draw.
Yes, I've seen
oh,
them.
they're
Isn't
it cool?
They are very
so
cool.
amazing. So we were watching.
They're very cool, right?
They're really great. We were watching the Changing Education Paradigms one on YouTube. And I was like, oh, man, not only is this an amazing talk, but this guy who's drawing it is just making this insanely awesome visual of this talk.
Right.
So I was like, these are so cool. I would watch these all day. So I went on my phone and I said, there's got to be an app for this. And there is.
Isn't it nice when there's just an app for it?
Yeah, I was like, there's got to. I looked at him. I'm like, there's got to be an app for this. He's like, but you're watching it right now. I'm like, yeah, but I'm in front of my. I wanted, like, whenever I'm sitting around, I want to just pull this up on my phone and watch it. So there's an app, an iPhone app, not iPad, iPhone only, called RSA Vision, and they have more than just their animate videos. They have talks, podcasts, all sorts of things within there. But I downloaded it just for the animate or the animations.
Yep.
I strongly suggest that you go out there, just go on YouTube, search RSA animations. You start typing RSA, it'll type ahead for you animations, and watch any of them. Literally any of them. I mean, I watched the education one, and then I watched one about the divided brain, which was also really interesting. You'll love them.
They're
if you
very
like
cool.
TED Talks,
And they're like 5-10 minutes.
They're like 10 to 12 minutes long.
They're not
and
long.
The animations on top of them are the content itself is really engaging, and the animations make it better. Yep. So check those out. Check out RSA Vision, the app, and you can watch them wherever you are.
So it's interesting, just as a side note, you found something on YouTube, which you have an app on both your iPhone and iPad that you can watch.
Right.
It's built into the thing.
Yeah.
And yet you went to try to find a specific app because you didn't want to use the YouTube app.
Psychoanalyze me now.
Well, I more think of it as because YouTube stinks.
The app stinks.
And I
never use the YouTube app ever.
Because I don't feel like I can, and I was thinking about it as you were talking, sometimes I just wander off when you talk, and I was thinking, why can't I just use the YouTube app and go in and subscribe to the RSA channel and then go in and watch whatever I want to watch? Because the app never feels like Instacast or TED Talks or like what it should feel like.
You're right. And what's funny is the app, the RSA Vision app, all it does is load in the YouTube video.
Right. It just gives
it's just giving me a list.
Yeah.
It puts it in context, I guess, because YouTube's so like broad and crazy and zany.
That's the thing.
It just puts it I'm in a zone. I'm in this space and I want to watch this thing. I think that's what it does.
So YouTube, you got to learn something from this, because why should I, if all this content exists on YouTube, why should I be going out to other places and getting specific apps just to do it? Anywho, cool. I assume it's free.
Totally free.
All right. I too have another iPhone but not iPad app, and another one that should be iPad. So many weeks ago, for all of you listeners and or tweeters, I asked, is there something better than Evite out there? And I got back a lot of suggestions, and I went on the Google and I searched for things, trying to figure out, because you're doing an invitation nowadays. I think, well, in the old days, you used to use Evite and send out like an Evite, and then now there's sort of Facebook where you can put it all into Facebook, right? But I've done Facebook invites, and I just don't find them as successful. I feel they're just not as well organized, and just the way it works, I don't know. There's something about it that I don't... You have to be friends with everybody you invite. It's just a little bit clunky. It's great if you have a small group, and if you are friends with everybody, but if you want to include people you're not, or whatever, it's just more difficult. So I started searching for an invite app. Plus, you can do more sort of fun, special things, and, like colors and whatever. Because I'm having a big birthday bash in June. It's blank O. It's my blank O, so you can probably get yeah. No, I'm turning 40 in June. It's not a big deal. So I'm throwing a party. And you're all invited. Everybody's listening. Just come on by. So I did this Evite, and so I searched for anything. Anyway, I went to all these ones. I looked at all these new ones, these cool ones. It's like this place and Google Bump and Figgity Fo, and there's all these like, Web 2.0.
Figgity Fo. Okay.
And I went into each one to try to create a new invite. And then I said, all right, that was cool, that worked, okay, great. And then I went back to Evite, and of course, it was easier and better. And I logged in, and everything was just worked. And I started my invite, and I thought, and then I forgot about it. My wife reminded me, you got to get those invites out. So I thought, but let me try is there an iPhone app? And lo and behold, there's an iPhone app. And it does exactly what I wanted to do. I built the entire Evite in my iPhone, right? You can pick the color, do in the words, do whatever, you fill everything out. And then for the guest list, it just reads from your address book. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. It reads from your address book, you pick the people, you hit send, and then you can load up on the address book. You can see on the Evite, you can see who's responded, who's coming, who's not coming, get totals. It works flawlessly. Evite, you win hands down because of the iPhone app. It should be an iPad app as well, but whatever. Evite for the iPhone, it makes Evite relevant again. Free, use it. It's great. So that's my pick for the week. So that's it. If you want to read the blog post or any of the other 91 CloudFocus Weeklies, you can go to blog.arkusinc.com. You can follow the company at twitter.com/ArkusInc. I'm at twitter.com/Jason M. Atwood. Justin's here at twitter.com/JustEdelstein. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/ArkusInc, where we post a blog post and we post CloudFocus Weekly. So if you want to subscribe there, if that's where you want to get it, it's a great place to like us, I guess. We're on Google Plus as well, where we do all the same stuff. So if you're in that place as well. And if you really just want the podcast, go to iTunes and subscribe by iTunes, or use our favorite app, which is Instacast. Great way to get your podcast if you're really a big podcast listener. Instacast is a great app. Until next week, we'll be back. And until then, as always, Jason and Justin saying, enjoy this cloudy day.